Part of the thing that I'm trying to help people, not who are here, obviously, not the leaders who are here, but others understand, is if you're trying to kind of figure out what the stakes are, just imagine the Oval Office, we've all seen it on TV, and just imagine on January 20th. Part of the thing that I'm trying to help people, not who are here, obviously, not the leaders who are here, but others understand, is if you're trying to kind of figure out what the stakes are, just imagine the Oval Office, we've all seen it on TV, and just imagine.
And then, who thought this was a good idea?
I believe in every word that comes out of her mouth. She's passionate, she's compassionate, she shows empathy, and most of all, she is not delusional. Yeah. Kamala recognized that this country is at risk, that the economy needs to get stronger, that the cost of food and the cost of living is too high. Damn, it's even high for me.
It's too damn high.
I believe her when she says, under her, buying eggs and milk won't break the bank.
Won't break the bank?
Because she's going to pass a ban on price gouging on groceries.
Ah, yeah, that's what my phone say. Whew, what's going on, guys? Hey, what's up? I wasn't planning on doing a live tonight, but you know what? As I was going over everything on Twitter today and the news, and actually I was like going to do a live, and I wasn't. Then I was really rested, and I was like, I'm going to take the night off and rest up. I got back on Twitter, and I was like, my God, I have to go live. There's just too much to talk about, and too much. Yeah, anyways, but I'm doing it with some good beer tonight. I got this Southern Tier Tiramisu Imperial Stout. It's fantastic. So we're going to do this Friday night, more relaxed style. Alrighty. So first of all, let me say hey to my peeps up here. Doug Peterson, numero uno tonight. What's up? Suljo Dos Randy Trace, congrats. Kathy, what's up? Gerald Kramer, Mike Mishler, R. Will, Hero at Large, Oscar in the Hizzy, BM Pro. Oscar, I'm sorry what we had to do to your Cowboys the other day. I'm just saying, but still got much love for you, bro. 4 years in a row, we got you. I'm happy about that. Just Mike, Kim Wiley, Scott Volkovich, Frank Gonastalgio, Yoker, Troy Man, Armand. Halloween's over, take the mask off. How dare you? How dare you? Drunk Kamala. You got 2 gummies set aside for Tuesday night? There you go. We'll load up. Praying for conservative landslide. Me too, Texas Lone Star. Pat Ciccio. Technology. What's going on? Georgia drink like she's a Burger King. X for like a double. I love it. Alice Fordan. What's up? Nordenham. Mark R. Liquid Skittle. Candace, how's it going? Put a little hit out on Chiney. Stella in the hizzy. Good to see you guys. Wow. Lots of peeps on a Friday night. It's kind of hard 5 days before this election, which might be the most important day of our modern lives. It's kind of hard to get excited about anything else, right? Date night seems kind of dull. Football seems kind of dull. It's like, this is the main event. So, welcome everybody in. Glad you're hanging out with me for a little bit here. C. Parker, Chiefs. Oh, God, I don't want to talk about the Chiefs. Let's move on. John Crisson from sunny Southern California. Okay, we have to talk about this because everybody and their mother sent this to me today. And I can tell people are freaking out. If you haven't seen this, Patrick Byrne today put out this video, him talking, and this post, and he says, bad news, Harris, Obama privately smirking, 100% confident victory. Don't believe the polls are what you read. Election already in the bag, quote unquote. Harris transition team 100% staffed with Obama staff. Republic being overthrown. Our one chance, overwhelm the rigged machines. Retweet. All right, so first of all, I need to say, so many people are throwing this at me, and I can tell people are scared. I get it. It's scary. We're all worried because as everything looks good, the data looks amazing. The data says landslide. The early voting, the registration numbers, it all says landslide. But we all know they're not going quietly. We all know what happened in 2020. And so there's a lot of fear, and I get it. Trust me, I have a little bit of fear myself, even though I am trying to stay in the right mindset here. First of all, the first thing he says here that everybody needs to look at is we have a chance. Overwhelm the rig machines. Guys, this is no new news then. This means nothing has changed. We've always known we have to go out and do a major win here. We have to show out in droves. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring your foreign exchange student if they don't check ID. Do everything you got to do. That was a joke, by the way. And just in case they're trying to, imprison me for election jokes. Jimmy Kimmel can get away with it, but nobody else. But yeah, just get everybody who can and vote. And we can do this. We can do this. Everybody in this chat, I pray to God you've either already voted or you've got plans for Tuesday, because we can't miss it. We cannot miss it. What's scary about this, and I think what freaked people out, is Patrick Byrne saying they are 100% confident and they're smirking, and he got this from his sources in the Kamala campaign. And listen, I think Patrick Byrne's amazing. I love Patrick Byrne. I was listening to him on Mel K's podcast tonight. He is fantastic. I think he's brilliant. I love what he did with Overstock. I love what he did helping figure out a lot of this election stuff in 2020, 2021. I think he's a good guy. I think he's on our side. I think he's a brilliant man. I don't know that I 100% trust his staffers and the reason, or his sources. And here's the thing, when you hear something like this, it can mean a lot. Okay. It can mean a lot of stuff. Maybe that was true. This could have been a pep rally speech they were giving to their campaign staff. Do you really think that Obama and Kamala would be out there in front of their staffers telling them where people could record with their phones, where they might have a leak, they might have a mole? You think they'd actually say, we have the machines rigged? These people have been doing this for 16, 20 years now. And trust me, we don't get many leaks. Not on this stuff. We get it on all kinds of other things, but not on this. They keep this stuff tight knit. And so I just can't believe that this is real in the way he's saying. I think they probably heard a rally the troops speech. We got this. We're completely in control here. Oh, hey, Michael, tell them how we're in control. Kamala, what's your name? Damn it, what's your name? Hey, guys, I'm telling you, just like in 2016, we thought we had it then, but in 2020 we got it again. But you got Barry up there making his speech. I completely think that's probably how this happened. Okay. And it comes to Patrick Byrne, and he hears, hey, Patrick, they're talking. They got this lined up. It's good, man. They're not scared at all. I don't know what to tell you, but we got this. That's what it sounds like to me. Because when you see this drunk woman
on January 20th, part of the thing that I'm trying to help.
Does that look like a confident woman? Does this look like somebody who's winning? How angry she's been getting? How people are heckling her at her rallies and she can't handle it?
People not who are here, obviously, not the leaders who are here, but others understand.
Look at that. She's got her eyes half closed. What? This looks like somebody who's completely panicked. And the other leaks that have come out have been about her screaming at Biden and her staffers and freaking out. That doesn't betray confidence to me. Is Obama confident when he goes and he lectures black men about being misogynist because they might vote for Trump, and how they're betraying themselves and speaking down to them like they're little children? Does that speak confidence to you? I'm sorry, it's like, do as I say, not as I do. What Patrick shared here, and again, I think he's just sharing what he heard, so this is not a knock on Patrick. But what Patrick's sharing here to me screams psyop, not from him, but from his staffers or from the information they got. All right. And it doesn't scare me, and it shouldn't scare you, because you have to see, this is a do as I say right here. Okay. This is a do as I say, but we all know that the real signs are what they do. Sending staff to New Hampshire is panic. They should not have to defend New Hampshire. Sending staff to Virginia is panic. Doing rallies in New Mexico is panic. Any state they have to defend, that's panic. Pulling funding from North Carolina, Nevada, Georgia, that's panic. You don't do that when you're trying to shore up another state. You don't do that when you got it. All right? So I'm just telling you guys, listen, we're going to go through the next 3 days. 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, before the election, and even on election day with the exit polls. I recommend that if you voted and you don't have anything else to do except tell people to vote, you might want to stay off Twitter. You might want to stay off the news, because there's nothing going to come out that's going to tell you anything new about Trump winning. And there's nothing, all you're going to see is psyop after psyop after psyop to convince you we're losing. They are going to unleash everything they have to discourage voters these next 3 days. Everything they have. You're going to see polls come in that have flipped. You're going to see analysts who show you stuff. There's a narrative going on right now that women are outvoting men so much right now that it's scary because for the Trump campaign, and Republicans are out there freaking out about it, except for the smart ones, because the smart ones look into the data even more. And you know what they realize? It's the Democrat men staying home. The men who hate Kamala but don't want to vote Trump, they're staying home. Mostly minorities, mostly blacks and Hispanics. They're staying home. That's why the female vote's up so much. And that helps us a ton. It's taking votes away from Kamala. It might as well be votes for us. So guys, all these narratives are out there trying to scare the snot out of you. We cannot panic. We have to hold true and just trust the data and do our best and hope it's enough. And I think it is going to be enough. Al, slopping down a bit of the stump water. Yeah, I am. This is good stuff, man. That's good stump water. Technology says, voted today. I was amazed how crowded it was. And New York. Nice. GTI Space called Trento. I didn't get to listen to it. I'll have to make time for it later. Liquid go out vote. That's right. John says, we got this, but we have to vote. Don't fumble the ball like my Jets last night. Oh man, that was quite the play, wasn't it? Yeah, don't fumble the ball. We'll vote. We got this. I really do agree with this. Stella says, Patriots are not going to allow another steal, period. It's not going to happen even if we replace this gov. Get out the vote. I don't know what you're saying. Oh, government. Yeah. Apollyon, they only have half the mail-in ballots that they have last time. How do they have it in the bag? Exactly, Apollyon. Thank you. That's data. See, that's the data we got to talk about. Allende, her staff could be lying to her to pick her spirits up out of the dumps. That's very true. Big JR, what's up? He maybe tweeted this to scare MAGA so they don't get complacent. And that's completely true, too. Patrick Byrne, I do not put it past him to play some 4D chess and to put this out there to rattle cages and to make sure more people vote. That is completely in his wheelhouse. He's smart like that. He has worked with spies. He's done all kinds of stuff. He might be doing a positive psyop. All right? He might be. But again, I had at least 7 or 8 people send this to me today freaking out. And so, listen, I truly believe that the vast majority of Americans do not want Kamala Harris in office. 60 to 65, maybe even 70% of Americans do not want her. Out of that, maybe 10, 15% of them aren't going to vote or do anything. But it's still more than we need at the ballot box. On top of that, think about all the people on Trump's team. You have RFK, who understands the deep state like nobody else. You have Elon, who understands the tech side. You have Peter Thiel, who's got Palantir on his side. Do you understand the data that those guys could pull for the Trump team if they wanted? I don't know if they can election-wise, but they could pull it themselves and give little hints here and there of what's going on. I'm sure Peter Thiel knows how everybody votes in the world. Elon with Starlink and stuff. The data these guys must have. And they seem very confident. So I'm saying that even though they have the government, I think we have the better side. We have the better people on our side, the smarter people, the people with the more power, even though it's from the outside. And so Trump's very excited. The other night, RFK, he said, guys, are you ready for feels like a landslide? His exact words. Why would they say this stuff to set us up? Trump with Tucker, which was an amazing interview, by the way. Trump with Tucker was saying, as long as they don't cheat enough, we got this. We got this. He kept saying it like that. If they don't cheat enough. In other words, it made me think like he knows they have to cheat so far it's not possible. And I think he's saying that just to make sure everybody keeps going out, but he's had a lot of confidence. Nobody sounds too worried on their side, But we have a couple people out there. Byrne right now. But other than this, Byrne, this is the most scary thing Byrne's posted. He's posted other things that not nearly as scary. In fact, he actually seems kind of confident. I was listening to him on the podcast tonight. He doesn't seem scared. And then, but the one other person who's out there, just like the biggest black pillar ever, is Emerald Robinson. And I just can't even watch her stuff anymore. That woman is off her rocker with what she's believing. So, Ever Trumper, why do we think we don't have Judas Goats plates at our camps? That's very true. Yeah, exactly. At least 312 electoral college. I think so too, Hero. Candace, I think the big point he's trying to make is everybody got to get out there and vote for vote. I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and Randy says 80,000 Amish in Pennsylvania are voting for the first time for Trump. 80,000. Even if half of them can vote and get out there, that's still more than the number that Biden won it by in 2020, just with the Amish. And that state's more red since then. And they had everything else going for them. So I'm going to go through some more of this in a minute. Mike Mishler about the jobs report. I'm going to cover that towards the end. Yeah, I think the economy might have started collapsing. Oh, cheers to that. We're going to go through that data towards the end here. Augustin, I'm feeling still very good about DJT so long as Trump wins. As long as Trump wins, I think DJT is going to rock it. Tampon Tim put in applications. Walmart interviewer still laughing. Cox said, Rich Baris said, though we shouldn't doom, there's a fine line between dooming and lighting a fire. Controlled burn, not all considered. Excellent. Yeah, if you guys have any fear, you should listen to Rich Baris's podcast. He's so good. It's outside the lines, or outside the numbers, something like that. Anyways, it's so good. People's Pundit, just look that up. That's so good. Why would they have the Cheney firing squad hoax if they were winning? Panic. Exactly, Cox. Exactly. Ryan, what podcast was Byrne in? It's called Mel K. MEL-K. Her podcast is really good. Mike Health Ranger is worse than Emerald. Just block him. I don't know who that is. Mike Health Ranger? I don't know who that is. In fact, Supreme Court's been ruling our favor. Should tell us something. Exactly. That too. Yeah. Exactly. Let me keep going here. There's more stuff to share. So here's something else Patrick Byrne shared, and I think this is good. He says, Dominion voting systems is Venezuelan crapola technology. Took Venezuelan junk code written in C# rewrote in C++ and rebranded Dominion. Guys, this screams panic all over right here. This is what Patrick's talking about. Dominion voting systems has just issued a threatening tweet warning Americans to stay silent about alleged election fraud practices. Dominion's closely monitoring claims around the November 20, strongly encourages use of verified, credible source of info. We remain fully prepared to defend our company and our customers against lies and those who spread them. Get the facts. Get the facts. And they send you to their own link. Yeah, we trust your own link. Hey, Dominion, I don't know if you're watching, but listen, we don't trust you at all. Get all your damn machines out of our country. We don't want them. You steal elections. There it is. So I'm not scared of you. But that's panic right there. putting out threats like that. Wait till Trump gets in and prosecutes all you guys. You know, it's crazy. This is, and again, don't do as they say, do as they do. This is fun right here. 2 Michigan clerks give the finger to Jocelyn Benson by filing a restraining order not allowing Dominion any more updates for the glitch issue. Remember they had that glitch? I covered this a couple days ago, and they were going to give an update to the whole system, and Patrick Byrne was out there sounding the alarm that the fix is the rig. Yeah, so this is good. They're putting a restraining order on them. Motion for emergency hearing, attorney representing Fear and Boldless. I don't know who this is. Stephanie Lambert. So anyways, but they're slapping that down, trying to make it so Dominion cannot update their machines, which I think is probably a great thing, because these machines come in, and the reason they trust them is, at least some people trust them because they know what they can do, you know what I mean? But the good people who allow them into their counties, they run tests on these and they turn out fine. And then all of a sudden, right before Election Day, they have a glitch that needs an update. And that's how they can sneak in their old software again. So if we can get a restraining order on this, that's very good news. Toe cramp. They're going back to the hills they thought they controlled, previous could count on, try to shore them up. Trump already owns his hills, going back to their hills and taking them. Their hills. I think I know what you're saying, and I think I agree with it. Randy says, let's get the likes up. Yeah, please like, share, subscribe if you like going through this data. You like going through the day's news and breaking it down, getting past the spin. Let me put it that way. Al, I have no fear that Trump will win, but I'm concerned what the Dems will do given that reality. Oh, they're going to go crazy. Absolutely. They're going to go crazy. John, you know what else is written in C++? CrowdStrike. Interesting. Guys, remember that CrowdStrike outage earlier this year? Like shut down so many systems. Pretty crazy. Brett, did I see the lines in Bucks County today? Presser sent pizzas to the people weighing to try to deter voters. They don't realize Trump voters are going back to. Yes. I saw one person stayed for 9 hours. Most of them stayed for 5. Amazing. People are not going to let them take this one. They just won't. Glitch better have my vote. What's up, Busy? Cass Sink, banger new song for Tom McDonald called Goodbye Joe. I like it. Tucker Carlson sued by Dominion, let go by Fox. He was right about the machines being crappy. 100%. Yep, 100%. All right, let's keep going. This is where we see good news. And this is the kind of stuff, guys, that just makes it. What they did in 2020 was outrageous, and it was obvious. It just wasn't obvious enough. They were able to cover it, and Biden being up 8 points in the polls. So many people thought, oh, yeah, it makes sense. He was up so far. They were able to cover it in that. They were able to cover it in the fact that there was a lot of frustration against Trump because of COVID. There was. It's just the truth. And so they had a narrative built. And because of COVID and the mail-in ballots, they had a backup of ballots built. They were able to rig the election with all that stuff. Twitter was controlled back then. So the Hunter Biden laptop didn't spread like wildfire like it would now. They don't have any of those advantages anymore. Every one of those advantages is gone. Every single one. And for the last 4 years, states have gone way more Republican in registration. And now we're beating them at the early vote in many places. They don't have the mail-in vote ballot initiative they had last time. They don't have cover of COVID. They don't have the cover of the polls. They have nothing going for them this time except for the fact that maybe these machines are able to spin enough to get it going. But guys, if it was obvious last time, remember the chart with the big jump for Biden? If you think that was crazy, this time it's going to be insane for them to pull it off. Like stupid insane. Like you just, and I hate saying like all the time. Sorry guys, I'm being Valley Girlish right now, but I'm trying to just, I don't have the words to express how big and obvious it'll be if they pull this one off. And that's why I don't think it'll stand even if they do. It's not what I want. I want a massive landslide on Tuesday. That's what I want. But if whatever it takes to get Trump in, we'll do. But I want the massive landslide. Get it, hear me. But Georgia's going so insane. The rural's wild. Like 40 counties are above 2020 early vote. All Trump 30 plus or higher. And you just see all these counties. It's just, look at this percentage of 2020. 147%, 120, or 117, 115, 114. All these places way above the 2020 numbers. And you see right here, the early vote. This, guys, black turnout down 51 to 49. Listen, it's not a racial thing. I don't want minorities not to vote. But these are going, somewhere between 65 and 75% for Kamala probably, and they're voting less. That means less people voting, less excitement for the Democrat side. They are bleeding votes. So not only are the Republican numbers way up, but so are the numbers in all the other areas we know are good for them. I mean, this it's so far, it's too big to rig. I just don't see how they could possibly make this happen. We're in the ace no spin zone. There it is. They danced to YMCA, John Cox. That's awesome. War analogy, taking the Emmy. So that's what I thought you meant. But listen, it's late. Okay. Don't mess with me too much right now. Cheers. Brett, really hope Biden forgets to pardon Hunter before he gets out of office. He's so absent-minded, might accidentally pardon someone else. He'll be in the tabulation rooms, crazy mouse. Could be, but they're not going to have enough ballots this time. Because what they did before is they banked because of those, because of the mail-in ballots, and they don't have that this time. Gag you with the spoon. I'm a Bay girl? Oh, no. They're not bleeding votes. They're hemorrhaging like a cut carotid artery. That's exactly right. They are hemorrhaging votes. I like that. That's a good word for it. Okay, I want to play this video real quick. Mark has been doing a great job. If you guys haven't watched his show, you need to for election coverage. Sometimes it's a little frustrating because he gives Democrats a lot of time, which I don't mind because he does it in a very balanced way. But sometimes they just are, most of the time it's pretty good. In fact, some of the best liberals and Democrats I've ever heard are on his show. But he gives a little time to some of the crazy sometimes, and you're just like, what are you even talking about? But his analysis, he always opens up the show with like 15 to 20 minutes of his analysis. He has some of the best sources in the world, especially in the U.S. for our government, our politics. And he does it twice a day. Morning it's at 9 and evenings at 6. And he opens up. But anyways, this is what he said. This is one of the things he said today. By the way, he was the first to call how Biden was going to step out and when it happened. So, all right, listen to this.
Okay. First of all, revelation for me today regarding the battleground states. It remains the base case that Vice President Harris is unlikely to win, according to my sources in both parties. Not sure thing, but unlikely to win Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona. If she doesn't win those three states, she must sweep Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. As forecast here a long time ago, it appears that she's basically back to where Joe Biden was on the eve of the debate. One electoral college path to exactly 270 electoral votes. So our intense focus for the rest of the way will be to continue to monitor to see whether she can actually win North Carolina, Georgia, or Arizona. Does not appear to my sources now that she will. Can she win the three Great Lakes states? And the focus has been on Pennsylvania. Here, on this platform, we did a 2-hour show called It's All About Pennsylvania. And what I'm here to tell you tonight, based on my reporting with Democrats and Republicans nationally and in both those states, that it could be that Kamala Harris wins Pennsylvania but loses the White House because she loses Wisconsin. Michigan remains a bit of a puzzle. Both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are doing dueling rallies near each other in Wisconsin tonight. Fitting, as far as I'm concerned, for my reporting, because as I said, my reporting is that she's in trouble in Wisconsin. This is based on 3 sources, 2 Republicans, 1 Democrat, all of whom know the state quite well, and all of whom told me today the same version of they would be somewhere between surprised and shocked if Kamala Harris won Wisconsin. Okay?
All right. So Mark's sources are some of the best, again. And what I love is that he's getting sourced from, again, this goes back to the Patrick Byrne thing. He said 3 sources, 2 Republican, 1 Democrat. That means, guys, the Democrats are panicking. They're not fully confident. All right. He just said Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, they pretty much are like, they're gone. We can't win them. Goodbye. I think that's the 3 he said. Arizona, what was it? Oh, Arizona, North Carolina, Georgia. And I would say Nevada based on the early votes. So 4 of the 7 battlegrounds, they're seeding. They're saying we're done. 3 of them, they're saying we're done. 1 of them is so far off in the early voting. Nevada is so crazy. There's just no way they can win it. So now he's got those, let's just say those 4 are probably gone. Even a Democrat saying that. And then he's got a Democrat who knows Wisconsin very well saying, and the 2 Republicans that know it very well, shocked and surprised if Kamala wins Wisconsin. That's 5 of the 7 battlegrounds. That's game over, baby. That is it. It's done. This is Mark, who is not a Trump fan. He's not a right-winger. He's a very good journalist, old school, does not want to take sides, but he's a little lefty, you know. But not so much he's lost his mind. He's been very fair in this election. His lefty part comes out every once in a while, just a hair. But he does a good job of keeping it in check. But again, the best sources out there. And they're basically saying it's over. He won't say that because Mark is a professional. He's not going to say it. But when you tell me that they have given up on the 3 biggest Sunbelt states, and then she has to win all 3 Rust Belt states, and people are saying, Democrat and Republican, that it's gone, that Wisconsin is gone, that is where you say it's over. Now, you don't say it's over until it's over. You can't. But I can tell you right now, it's not over, but it's probably over. And they don't say that, guys, if they're as confident as Patrick Byrne's source said. So again, was Patrick just trying to get us to keep voting? Maybe, and I hope so. And yes and amen, go vote if you haven't. We have to do it. We have to. We have to seal the deal. But in my opinion, the deal is going to be sealed. People are freaking out to get to the polls. They are crawling hand, foot, if they have to, waiting for 5, 6, 7 hours. Listen, Trump supporters are so galvanized because they do not want to risk even a little bit, even a little chance of losing their vote this time. They're not only are they going to vote, they're watching. I had somebody tell me today that they're working the polls in Arizona and they're staying late. They wanted the late shift to make sure, the overnight shift, so that no funny business happens. That's what we need. We need that. Somebody else who's close to somebody in the campaign on the Trump team, and I can't say who, but very notable person, said they're pretty sure they have this in the bag. And so I'm just telling you guys, we do not pay attention to the media spins this weekend because it's going to be all over the place. And there's going to be Republicans dooming and freaking out and blackpilling. Don't listen to it. Stick with the actual data. And that's all we can do. What's up, Shogun? Good to see you. Crazy Mouse says there's some alarming evidence beginning to surface pointing towards a shift in U.S. election process, specifically fundamentally changed process now exists behind absentee voting. But there's not enough absentees, I think, to matter right now. Mark R. says every Democrat I know this year is voting Trump. Yes. They want us to think it's over. That's right. Good video, Kentucky voter on touchscreen. Oh, I saw that. Yeah. So, that kind of stuff is worrying, of course, and it's looked into. But here's the deal. Twitter is making it impossible to keep this stuff going. Look at how these people are freaking out. I mean, you guys saw, I just showed you the Dominion tweet. This is fear. This is terror because they're getting busted on everything. And so what they're doing is they're a caged animal and they're they're lashing out. Jenna Griswold, the Secretary of State of Colorado, is freaking out right now because she got busted letting in all those people and the passwords into their system. Busted. X is changing the game because one of these things breaks. The news breaks on this. It spreads like wildfire. Millions of people know within minutes. You cannot beat that. That is the thing that beats it. And I'm going to prove it to you right here. This is such a good post. I shared it. Hope you guys all read it. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to go through this in an abbreviated fashion. But this is per Mike Benz, who's very good cyber intelligence guy, cybersecurity guy. And he's been studying color revolutions and our elections. And he says, here's the playbook. Delay, prevent certification, buy time to execute color revolution. This is what he's saying they want to do. Here's the playbook. Delegitimize the Trump win. Must happen quickly and delay certification. I've already talked to you about how hard it is for them to not certify. But will they try? Yes. Okay, but we've covered that. It's almost impossible. I'm not worried about it in the slightest, especially we get the Senate and the House, okay? Doug says Tuesday will be the Super Bowl elections. You have me on one of your TVs. That's awesome, man. I appreciate it. Election night, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll probably maybe jump on a little earlier, but 8 p.m. is when the polls close. So that's when the news really starts. I will be on. I'm live streaming the entire election. I'm not leaving until either the counting stops or we have a winner. And so it's going to be a late night. Going to bring some good stuff. So good stuff. Have some good drinks because I believe it's going to be a celebration. I really do. Next, number 2, prevent certification via chaos. Threats to key Congress people, immense media pressure, massive public protest, street riots. That's where we see Antifa, BLM come out. And it's very possible we see it. Move decision to SCOTUS, pile the pressure to avoid Trump's win. I don't think they can actually do that. Okay, do you understand how hard that will be? They would have so much overwhelming evidence to even have a shot of getting it to SCOTUS. So and if it's a landslide, they don't have a chance of challenging. Okay, so that's why we need to pray for it to actually be a landslide. You're not going to challenge an election if it's not close. So if it's close, maybe they get a shot. Media surround. By the way, SCOTUS has showed they have guts. I mean, they struck down Roe v. Wade. They have guts. Okay, they're not terrified. They won't be intimidated. Okay, media surround sound lionizes mob as freedom fighters fight. It's all the same dumb stuff. BLM, we've seen it. SCOTUS judges are intimidated as in 2020 installed Trump in office. The whole country will burn down. Redo the election. Can't. Country will burn. SCOTUS acquiesces to save the country. Appoints Harris. They cannot appoint Harris. This is wrong. So he is wrong about that. They can't. They would have to go to a contingent election. That's what the Constitution says. And there's no way they're going to get around that. You can't appoint. Listen, even if the Supreme Court heard this case, it somehow got to the Supreme Court and they heard it and said, yeah, the election, we're terrified. The election was obviously rigged in Trump's favor. It's null and void. They would not appoint Harris. They can't. That's not in SCOTUS's power. What they would do is they would say contingent election. And then they're going to intimidate the House and the states. But they'd have to intimidate quite a few. So again, I just don't think this is happening. Final arrangement, compromise. Split between the guys with guns, often feds versus more local law enforcement. They stand down. Okay, here we go. How do you stop it, though? Now, this is the real point I want to get to, okay? Because this is actually... Once you read this, you're going to realize we're already stopping it, and we're doing really well, okay? 3 key vulnerabilities of a color revolution, okay, trying to overturn. Media control. They don't have it anymore. Rent-a-mob generation. They can try, but wait. Corporate extortion funding. Okay, those are their vulnerabilities. Absolute control of the media. They have to control the narrative. Guess what? They can't do it because X now controls the narrative. X and podcasts. journalists, Rumble. There is too much free speech for them to control the narrative, and they won't be able to shut it down in time. They won't, because this will all be contested in the meantime. So we already won there. We've beaten the media. The media is dead. They don't matter anymore. Okay, so we got that. That one's done. They must control the narrative, he says. Seems to explain why Soros purchased 200 radio stations, but it doesn't matter. Nobody listens to those, he says. Explains why they're howling from the rooftops when Bezos shut down WAPO endorsement. If they can't control Bezos and WAPO, it's a serious problem. It means they've got two billionaire media entities. They can't control Elon and Bezos. It's a serious problem. Bezos' problem for another reason. If he leaves the blob reservation, he gives permission for other corporations to resist. Elon's no longer the Lone Ranger. And he says, I think it is breaking. We're seeing increasing number of fund managers, Silicon Valley types come up to support Trump. That's very true. Bill Ackman, a couple other guys. I can't think of their names off the top of my head, but big people, lots of power in Silicon Valley. Change is happening. So that's done. All right, next. The blob must assemble the rent-a-mob. Quickly attract tens of thousands of NPCs. BLM, Antifa, playing for all the marbles. This is a point of vulnerability. They can't fund a color revolution directly out of Congress, so it can't come from the government. They won't be able to do that. So they shake down the big corporations. If several of the biggest corporations in Silicon Valley shut down the money spigot and refuse to be intimidated, of course, it's a serious problem for them. Guys, it's already happened. Facebook, Zuckerberg said he's not getting involved this time. Okay? I guarantee you others aren't getting involved. From what I've heard, behind the scenes, Silicon Valley, a lot of these tech guys are, it's not so much they're pro-Trump, but they're very anti-Kamala Harris and the Biden administration, what they've been doing. So they don't want to support them at all, because tech wants to be able to grow and grow and grow. And from what I'm hearing, not to control things. They just want to make stuff. Some of them are in that controlling place like Google, okay, and Apple. But a lot of them just want to keep seeing what tech can do. There are a lot of Elons in there, and they hate Biden and Harris. So tech bros, a lot of them on our side, and they're not going to fund them the way they did before, because it costs billions, guys, to do all that, to get the BLM, Antifa's out there. And the other thing is, I'm telling you, he doesn't write this, but if they get those mobs out there and Trump has won, listen, I think MAGA people are going to be much quicker to put it down and not put up with it. Governors are stronger now after COVID. The states are going to be much tougher on that kind of stuff. C, rent-a-mob's absolutely essential element to make the revolution work. Intercept that, and the revolution is stillborn. Not hard to shut down fast and nip it in the bud. Participants aren't warriors or largely chicken shits. That is very true. The only way the mob succeeds if local and state police, if the mob is big enough, National Guard stand down. But it's not going to happen. And like he says, a whole lot of people fed up with the bull crap. You're rolling all this. What can you do? Raise awareness. Why do you guys think I do this show night after night after night, even though most of the time I'm, just getting a couple thousand viewers? I do it night after night after night because I know that if I reach 1,000 people, I'm actually reaching 10,000 people, because if I reach 1,000 and you guys each reach 5 to 10 to 20 on average, it spreads. And that is worth it. That's worth it for our country. And that's why I show up here night after night and I talk, and it's exhausting, trust me, it's not for the money. I do make a little bit of money off this, but it is not worth the time and effort I put in. I make much better money doing my day job. But guys, this is important. It's important. And we raise awareness. We go through this. So we keep going. We keep doing this. And don't stop. Don't stop. Spread everything you can. Tell people about it. Share on Twitter. Not everybody's going to be in front of a camera like I am, and that's fine. Just do whatever you can do. Spread it. Spread it. Spread it. So anyways, as I just meant to show you guys, look, they're all there. It's a long post, so read it. I'm not going to read it out loud the rest of the way. But the point is, we're already doing this, and this is why I have so much confidence. The data for the election is amazingly on our side. It screams landslide. The other reason is because whatever they're going to try to do afterwards, everything on that is just on our side too. These people are so much weaker than they've ever been before. And that's what gives me so much hope. That's what gives me so much hope. Yeah. Let me put a poll up for that. Somebody said who's already voted. So let's create a poll. Polls are fun. You guys just say if you've already voted or not. So we can already see. All right. Let's see what else here. What are you guys saying on there? Brett, they're going to completely run psyops this weekend, trying to dissuade or discourage us. Jedi mind trick's not working. That's exactly right. Yep. I am going to be on election night, Pam. I'm going to be on the whole time. Yep. The interviewer Griswold, I know. That was awesome. Polyon, what really messed up Dem strategy is because of X and other good independent journalists. We have an informed public. 100%, man. Hopefully voters don't think balance of power is best. Balance of power. You mean, a mix-up? I know. Yeah, maybe in the old days you could make that point, but now you just can't. It's a mix of power, not when the Democrats are insane people. If Trump was going to lose, people won't wait hours to vote Trump. Exactly. Yeah. Going to be a great 4 months. Dodgers won. Trump come back. Vikings win Super Bowl. Straight cash. I love it. I don't think the Vikings are going to win the Super Bowl. They've been kind of collapsing, but they can make it a conference championship or something. That'd be great for them. Housen says very important. Brett, so if it was a hanging Chad for the Florida election, it's going to be the hanging skank for Kamala. Man, always on it, Brett. Media delegitimize themselves with Cheney hugs. I mean, they delegitimized themselves a long time ago, but I agree with that. Pennsylvania vote to the right of Wisconsin. Not usually. It's close. Wisconsin's usually the most right-leaning of all those states. Because I rock. Thank you. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you, Fro Girl. Appreciate that. If I don't get 150 likes, I turn to a Dem at midnight. How dare you? I can't have that being spread around. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's not good. You voted for Pedro. Okay, let's keep moving because there's still more to go over. Love this from Will Chamberlain. Now, Will, old school type Republican, not excited for Trump at first, was a full-on DeSantis guy, and he's completely come around and seen the light. I love him for that. Very smart guy. And anyways, he says, I'm optimistic. Vibes are much better than 2020, better than 2016. RNC is clearly much better run. We're bringing and winning in election integrity cases. Early votes way up, meaning we're less vulnerable to election day suppression. Still go vote. And that's just a great post. So I want to share it that even these guys who are not full on MAGA, but can't help themselves, that they have to get in on this train and are getting more excited. Even they can tell. It's not just us pumping each other up. Okay. We had a big win in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania Supreme Court affirmed mail-in ballots with missing or improper dates cannot be counted. They've been fighting over this for a couple weeks now. And the Pennsylvania Supreme Court finally slammed it down. Said, nope, any mail-in ballots with bad dates cannot be counted. So big win there. That ensures a lot of those late votes are not going to be able to be cheated. Maricopa County early vote. This is crazy. This is Phoenix, Arizona. Maricopa County, which is the county that is the reason Arizona went to Biden last time. Look at this. 109,000 in favor of Republicans. And that's just over the Democrats. I'm betting 65% to 70% of these independents are voting for Trump too. So in that case, you could have 150 to 200,000 vote lead in the early vote in the county. That is the reason Arizona lost, because all the other counties around it are red. Arizona could go to Trump by 5, 6, 7 points this time, guys. It's crazy. It's like, this is how you get too big to rig. This great stuff. Nevada, The Senate is finally turning around to red. The early vote in Nevada, and I've been covering this a lot, so if you guys have been watching me, you know this. But the early vote in Nevada is already so far ahead, red, that it's almost impossible for them to catch up on Election Day. It would have to be like 75% Democrat votes on Election Day at this point, which will never happen because Republicans vote more on Election Day. So over Democrats. So, and now we have the Senate might turn too. So we're getting closer and closer to seeing 55, 56 seats in the Senate, which is just incredible. Incredible. He voted for William. Roger says, Washington State's all mail-in. Have your ballot completed but won't turn in until last day. Good for you. That's the way to do it. Thank you, BM Pro. Brett Burdened. Can't wait to never hear that word again. I love it. John Cox, make sure your male friends vote. Yes. Very true. Agent tried to figure out early vote in rural Pennsylvania. Could only mail in, no voting in person. Really? For rural Pennsylvania? Interesting. Honey Badger says, I hope Brett Baer doesn't piss me off calling a state with only 2% of the voted like he did with... I know, that was insane. I saw the Hugh Hewitt thing. I did, John. Yeah, that was nuts. Why are we allowing mail-in ballots? I mean, you know the answer. But it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. Lone Star says, optimistic, but keep the pedal to the metal. Ensure everyone you know turns out votes Tuesday. Amen. Exactly. Vang Hang, would I rather have Trump win the election or 49ers win the Super Bowl? Trump win the election. It's no-brainer for me. It really is. I mean, I'd love to see the Niners win a Super Bowl. I'd love that. But that's a day of joy and a year of bragging rights, and it's gone. I'll have that memory forever. But this is to save the country for the rest of my life. So, yeah, I'd take the Trump 100 times out of 100. Al voted. I love it. Mike, why are the betting markets trending Harris right now, even though Trump's leading? Well, okay, great question. Couple reasons. I talked about this the other night, but I'll bring it back up again. Number one, dark money controls those, okay? And a lot of it's blue. So when Trump was getting out of hand, it just meant that they probably weren't putting their money in and what they're watching. Now it's time to influence people's votes and scare people. So a lot of that money is starting to pour in again, bringing it down. The other thing is, the closer you get to Election Day, smart bettors hedge their bets. That's just how you do it. Professionals hedge their bets. And so there's a lot of hedge money coming in for Kamala as well. It does not mean anything's changed, especially as long as Trump remains ahead in the betting markets. Nothing's really changed. It just that how far, it doesn't matter that much. It is fun to watch though. John, we have to use you're talking to somebody else. Apollyon, SCOTUS refused to block counting of provisional ballots improperly filled out in Pennsylvania. Oh, yeah, I covered that. DJ Tube says, great. Bezos told the WAPO publishers they can't endorse anyone in this election. Even Zuck looks like he's moderating. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Brett, can't wait until Trump gets rid of these ridiculous sanctuary cities. I know. Yeah, Newsom. Yeah. Yep. Pam says, could all this crap be coming from large money management funds trying to spread down in order to get DJT shareholders to sell? 100%. Yeah, if you're talking about DJT, they're trying to shake the longs out before the election. I guarantee it. It's a short attack. It's not people selling. Why would they sell? There's been no bad news for Trump. All the data is good. And the reason it jumped up in the first place is because people are confident about the election. It's not going to, no, it's not people selling, but they're trying to shake us out. Was Brett reporting on some stat guy in Arizona report? Yeah, so you're talking about the Brett Baer story. The story about Brett Baer calling Arizona, which I was pissed at him for years, but then I heard the actual story. He's an anchor. So he's told what to say. And they told him, their poll guy at their decision desk told him to call Arizona. And apparently there was a fight behind the scenes during a commercial where Brett was like, I'm not doing that. Are you crazy? And they insisted and pushed him until he finally did it. And that's the story. And so, and I actually, this is crazy, but in the last couple months, I've actually met somebody who personally knows Brett Baer. And he says he's a great guy. And so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. especially after he slammed Kamala. That was great. Michael, you're in Missouri. You voted early. Saw more early voters on Thursday afternoon a week ago than ever before. Trump will win in Missouri big. Good. We lock up those red states majorly, and then we'll get that popular vote win, which we need. If they're entrapped, they'll try to get anything to get some release. That's true, Pam. They're going to have to release a little bit. I would not be surprised if we don't see some shorts trying to cover on Monday in DJT now that the price is a little lower. We'll see, though. Max Payne today was $33 for DJT, says Brett. Hedging, yep. Yeah, so, okay. John says it's been short sales restricted 3 days in a row. How's DJT been going down on SSR for 3 straight days, shaking out longs? Yep, that's exactly what I said. Yeah. So, okay. Speaking of that, all right. So that's the election coverage. Let's talk about the economy now. All right. So don't panic on the election, guys. We're just going to do what we do. And as far as I'm concerned, with X out there to report everything and get the narrative going, absolute worst case scenario is Kamala gets a squeaker out because of the rigging, and we catch them and we still beat them because we control the media now. And that's where I think is the absolute worst case scenario. But all right, let's move on to this, because there was some horrific numbers that came out today. And I'm starting to think that with the election on Tuesday, this economy is starting to collapse. They're starting to finally let it go. October, what might have been the last month they really pumped things up. Okay. I really think it might have been the end of it. And now they're going to let it go. Look at this. Number of permanent job losses jumped by 153,000 October to 1.84 million, the highest since November 2021. 3 years. Over the last 2 years, permanent job losers have risen by an alarming 665,000. Number of people terminated involuntarily and are seeking work is now up for 16 straight months. Such a long streak has never occurred outside of recessions. Guys, this is not good. Meanwhile, Americans who are unemployed for 27 weeks and over surged by 317,000, near the highest of February 2020. The labor market's weakening. Duh. All right, let's keep going though, because it's gonna get worse. Where is it? Yeah. Okay, let's do this. The jobs report. Today's jobs report, guys, is filthy. 12,000 jobs. Below expectations of 106,000. How the hell do you miss projections by 100,000? And not just 100,000, because 100,000 was the projection. 90%. 90%. And they revised the last 2 months down by 100-some thousand, which I told you at the beginning of October when they announced that stupid number of 253,000. I said they'd revise it down by half, and they basically did. But this... Guys, this is nuts. 12,000 jobs. Lowest number of U.S. jobs added since July 2021. Biden is going out, and he's starting to leave us with the economy we've really had all along, and we're just going to see it now. This is sick. This is sick. It's unbelievable. You just can't. There's really no words for this, how bad this is to come in after all these reports we've been getting the last few months that we're trying to push it up, and then they drop this right before the election. Also, how stupid were they to drop this 4 days before the election? Because, even if this sways 0.001%, well, you still lost a few thousand votes over this, seeing that the economy really is terrible. This is bad. It's so bad. Does Lake have a shot in Arizona? Yes, I think she's actually going to win. Yeah, Brett, you called it. Going to win New York straight cash? You think so? Doug says, how's the NASDAQ going to be impacted with NVIDIA being listed on the Dow next week? Was there a rumor of SQQ splitting? I don't know. I heard the rumor of the split. But NVIDIA switching to Dow is very interesting. I don't know what that's going to do. Roger, today heard Lake has a shot. Yes. Lake's last poll, she was up 1.5%. So November 8th is supposed to be huge for some reason. I mean, it's 3 days after the election. I'm sure there's going to be stuff coming out on a Friday. Let's keep moving. Bezos is bailing. Guys, he sold $3 billion of shares today. That's a lot of cash. Why would you do that? Especially when that's a lot of taxes to pay by the end of the years too. That's a lot of money. $3 billion just cashing out. Do you think he knows something's coming? You think? I mean, the stock market wasn't great this week. Yeah, you think Bezos always follow these guys? They always seem to know something. And then on this reverse repo, down to 155 billion, lowest in 3 years. Normally, when the money market fund liquidity leaves RRP, it goes into U.S. Treasuries, driving yields down. Instead, U.S. 10-year rocketed to 4.365 this week. None of this makes sense. None of this makes sense. So jobs coming in extremely low. Reverse repo is lowest it's been. Job losses go up to the highest in 3 years. Bezos is bailing out $3 billion. All on the same day we hear this. And it's not over. Oop, wrong one. U.S. stocks seen the largest outflow by institutional investors since September 2015. 9 years. 9 years. They're selling. Net selling reached $6 billion last week, second largest in at least 15 years. People bailing. I'm telling you guys, it doesn't matter who wins. It doesn't matter who wins for this, the stock market and economy for the next few months. It matters overall down the road, absolutely. But for this next 4 to 6 months, I think it doesn't matter who wins, because policy from Trump you're not going to get for at least 4 more months, okay? Because January 20th. And the Biden administration, they're not going to do anything about it, because if God forbid Kamala's in, they want it to crash, because then they can implement more of the stuff they want to do quicker, because we're all going to be struggling. They'll let it get worse. So it seems like it's time. We're hitting the election, and I think, guys, we're starting to see the beginning of the end. I do. I think we're starting to see the beginning of the end of this fake-ass economy we've been watching for the last few years. These signs are just abysmal. They're abysmal. Brett says 12,000 jobs divided by 3,100 counties in the USA, 3.8 jobs per county. That's nuts. Girlfriend plastic surgery. What? For Bezos? $3 billion worth? Maybe. She looks like it. Agent Orange, thanks for doing extra videos so close to crunch time. Extra positivity. Appreciate it. You're welcome, man. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. Listen, I'm tired, but it's not time to slow down. And, I'm ready to take a few nights off. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going to wait till after the election, because it's too important right now. It's too important. We got to get this out there. We got to keep people seeing what's happening. We got to keep people on the right track, positive, and in the fight. No taking yourselves out because bad news, whatever. We stay in this. We get it done. We are getting this done. I think this is the most important election since probably Abraham Lincoln. I really do. So we're not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. We're going to pump this out, and then I can collapse afterwards. Take a few days off after the big election party. But God, we got to win. We have got to win so bad, and we're going to. I really believe we will. And I'm hoping for the miracle of miracles, that we see a landslide that's easy to call election night, and it's so overwhelming that it makes everything move easy. That's forward to get Trump in. That's my hope and prayer. So I'm so grateful to you guys for supporting me. I'm so grateful for, as YouTube's demonetized many of my videos, so many of you guys have given. You've joined the membership. You've made it really. I mean, it's not easy to do, but it makes it easier to keep showing up every night when it just like because when I'm taking time away from my family and my wife and stuff to do this. But you guys make it worth it, so I can keep showing up. So thank you for your support. It really means the world. So. All right, last one. I somehow missed this earlier, but this is Pennsylvania is already obviously one of the big keys, right? If not the key. Although if what Halperin says is true and Wisconsin's going that way, it might not matter in the Sun Belt. But still, we want Pennsylvania. We really want Pennsylvania. And this is huge. Remember Pennsylvania, Trump was up by like 300, 400,000 votes in 2020, and then all those votes came in late. Pennsylvania was the one that I think switched the largest. I think it was like one of the largest switches, or at least by numbers. And one of the reasons they were able to do that is because they had banked hundreds of thousands of ballots from the mail-in and early votes. And because the Democrats came out so far ahead of the Republicans in that. Well, now the Dem firewall in Pennsylvania is reduced by more than 700,000 votes. Or ballots, I should say. Guys, that's crazy. That's crazy. If you think about the fact of how much they had to get in to pull it off before, and now you've taken away. We don't even know what Election Day is. Election Day is probably going to be more Trump positive than in 2020. So we don't even know how much more ahead he'll be. But we can basically say already Trump is 700,000 votes ahead in Pennsylvania than he was in 2020. That's basically what that means. That's insane. Again, we've got to get the landslide because that's what we're due, and that's what the numbers are saying we should be getting. So just the prayer and the hope is that we knock back the cheating so much by exposing it over and over and over again before the election that they can't pull it off. Pennsylvania became over 400,000 net registrations less Democrat just so they could give someone who's never held a wrench or hammer or worn a hard hat a bigger win than an Irish Catholic from Scranton in a year this urban votes in the governor. There's a massive market for shrinks on the political right wing to be had. There's going to be a lot of mental health problems after this, that's for sure. So good things coming, guys. Rumdog, cleared your Wednesday to begin your election recovery. Good night, sleeping years. Yeah, it's time to sleep right after this, hopefully. Hero, the 40% I haven't voted, vote. Yeah, in our poll, 61% have already voted. So good for you guys, and 39% going to. So do it. Do it. Bitcoin seeing an influx? Yeah, a lot of people are going to probably hedge their bets in Bitcoin because they're afraid of what will happen with Kamala. And then if Trump comes in, they believe it'll go up. So it's a good hedge. Wicked says, if I don't listen to Trento Call, they said they are looking forward to Patrick Byrne to be SEC. Absolutely. Pam, what's so bad for those corruptors, or as the Bible says, there are corrupt silver reprobates? I like that. Brad, putting your money in Kleenex right now. There's a lot crying from the left. We hope so. I believe it's coming. Pam, to get trapped in the middle of massive shortcut. Yeah, with DJT. Oh, yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to call it a night. I am tired, and so maybe I'll come on tomorrow. I'm not sure, but let's end in a prayer because we need all the prayer we can get right now. So let's all just agree in prayer together so we can get this done. And even if you don't believe, hey, if you're voting for Trump, it doesn't hurt to throw one up there, right? So Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for this week, God. Thank you for all the good data that's been coming in. And I just pray, God, that it sees itself. All that data is able to be seen through to the end. And we end up getting the massive win that America clearly wants. That all their cheating would be stopped. All the rigging would, any attempts would be thwarted. And God, that we'll just get this amazing team of people assembled with Donald Trump at the head into office and get our country back. I pray for strategies as the economy goes down temporarily. And I pray that DJT really takes off for all the people involved in it. And that includes myself. But God, I just pray justice to be done. And I pray it starts this Tuesday. It really starts this Tuesday. Justice being done in our nation. Protect Trump and the crew through this weekend. Protect everybody voting. Pray that everybody gets their votes in. and is not stopped. And God, that just if you're with us, nothing can stop this from happening. And we pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Love you guys. Bless you all. Have a wonderful night. And I'll probably see you tomorrow unless there's no news, which, you know what? That's not going to happen. So God bless you guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.